In today's video, Wanderer, 5-star animal character, catalyst user, main DPS for real teams. In this video you'll find tips, talents, explanations, artifact sets, weapons, best builds, and more. Join my Discord server if you want to make friends and play Genshin rather than games. You're more than welcome to join, and without further ado, let's jump right into active talents. With a normal attack, it performs up to 3 wind blade attacks that of course deal NMO damage, and the charge attack consumes stamina dealing AoE NMO damage. You will use these attacks to fight, but the damage Wanderer deals doesn't come directly from its first active talent, so let's go ahead. This skill is the main key of Wanderer's kit. By using it, Wanderer will deal AoE NMO damage and will leap into the air, entering the wind fever state. This state will allow Wanderer to fly, which is useful for exploration, but beside this, it won't allow Wanderer to perform a plunging attack, and his normal and charge attack will be converted. In this way, the damage of both types of attacks is increased, and the charge attack will no longer consume stamina. Normal attack and charge attack damage will still be considered normal and charge attack damage, even if it is converted. While in this state, Wanderer's movement gains different properties. He consumes points of Kugoryoku. When you use the skill, you start with 100 points. If you sprint, these points will be consumed faster as for stamina when you run. Holding the jump button makes Wanderer go higher, but you still consume points. So remember these properties for when we will have a look at the passive talents. Before that, the burst, with which Wanderer deals 5 instances of AoE NMO damage. This will end the state of his skill. So the level priority is skill, burst, and last normal attack. Let's have a look at the passive talents now. With the first one, it's time to remember the properties of the skill. If it's real hydro, pyro, cryo, or electro when using the skill, Wanderer will gain different buffs according to the element's field. For hydro, you go from having 100 points to have 120. This makes his skill state last longer, so you deal more damage. If it's real pyro, Wanderer will have his attack increased by 30%. If it's real cryo, it will gain 20% of crit rate. And if it's real electro instead, every normal and charge attack it will restore 0.8 energy to Wanderer. The best part of this passive talent is that you can have 2 buffs at the same time, so you can combine attack with crit, points, and crit or attack. The electro one is the most useless since the burst is not Wanderer's main source of damage. But beside that, this is a really great talent. You understand when this mechanic worked by looking at the circle Wanderer has behind himself. With the second one, when Wanderer hits opponents with normal or charge attack while he is in the skill state, he has a small chance to obtain an effect that will allow him to fire off 4 wind arrows that deal NMO damage based on his attack. You fire the arrows by sprinting while in the state of the skill, and this sprint won't cause any point to be consumed. Every normal and charge attack it will have an increased chance to trigger this effect. And now last passive talent, which will make bows and catalyst ascensions less expensive. So for dualization, set all the supports and make Wanderer join the field using a skill, then normal attack, and when the state is ending, use the burst. Now that we had a look at the entire kit, is Wanderer queen or queen? So first of all, his kit is freaking fun and creative. I personally love the fact that he takes companions elements to buff himself. He's like, I'll take this, thank you. His damage is quite good, and his versatility in teams is actually pretty crazy. Not talking about the fact that the first passive talent makes the build a lot easier. So we can say that Wanderer is a queen. Here's Wanderer's character investment, and let's move on with his build options. So for artifacts options, for 2-piece he can use 2-piece attack, Gladiator, Simenawa, and all others, 2-piece NMO damage bonus, Viridescent Venerer and Desert Pavilion Chronicle, and 2-piece normal and charge attack damage, Mercedes the Hunter. For 4-piece he can use Desert Pavilion Chronicle, which grants attack speed increased by 10% and normal and charge attack damage increased by 40%. This activates after dealing charge attack damage, so in their rotation start with the charge attack if you have this set. Mercedes the Hunter, which grants him crit rate if HP decreases or increases. You need Furion to activate the effect properly, but it's a quite good option. Simenawa's Reminiscence, which takes a few energy from the burst to increase normal and charge attacks by 50%, so pretty strong for Wanderer. And last, Unfinished Reverie, which grants general damage buff if there are burning opponents on the field. In Wanderer's case, you need only 2 characters with elements that Anemo can real, so the third companion can be Dendro, Anemo, or Geo. There's no problems for Wanderers, so this set is pretty fitting for his requirements. Main stats are attack on the sand, NMO damage bonus on the goblet, and crit damage on the circlet, and substats are crit, attack, EM, and energy charge. Before we uncover weapons options, the majority of the viewers are not subscribed, so subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content, and make sure to activate the notifications to not miss out any future guides of favorite characters. Let's have a look at weapons options now. First option is Tuletula's Remembrance, which gives a lot of crit damage and attack. the effect increases normal attack speed by 10%, and after you unleash the skill, normal attack damage is increased every second up to a total of 48%. Cash flow supervision, which gives crit rate and a lot of attack, the effect increases attack and normal attack and charge attack damage if HP increases or increases. This effect can be activated if you have Furina in the team. Once you have 3 stacks of the effect, attack speed is increased by 8%. And last 5 stars option, Lost Prayer, which gives lots of crit rate and attack. The effect increases movement speed, and when in battle, elemental damage is increased up to 32%. For 4 stars, you can use Black Cliff Agate, which gives crit damage and attack. The effect increases attack after you defeat an opponent. The Witsit, which also gives a lot of attack and crit damage. The effect provides attack, elemental damage bonus, or YM, so all good buffs for Wanderer except for YM. Solar Pearl, which gives crit rate, normal attack skill, and burst damage is increased when hitting an opponent. If you have this weapon on him, try to use the skill really close to the opponent so you deal damage and activate the effect. For 3 stars options, you can use Twin Nephrite, which gives crit rate and the effect increases movement speed and attack after defeating an opponent. Now, for Wanderer's ideal build, you should aim to have around 2000 of attack, 60 or 70% of crit rate and as much crit damage as you can. 130% of energy charge is enough for the burst, and for animal damage bonus, stay around 46 or 60%. Buffs given by characters, kits, weapons and artifacts are not counted in these stats. Let's have a look at the constellation before team comps, just to know what they do in case you're interested. With the first one, Wanderer's attack speed for normal and charge attack is increased, and the damage of the 4 arrows you unleash when sprinting is increased as well. Of course, this effect activates when you are in the skill state. So between its first constellation and signature weapon, I think the weapon is stronger since it helps you with the build and the percentages of buffs are higher. With the second one, the damage of the burst when you are in the state of the skill is increased based on how many points you have according to the max. To put it simple, the less points you have, the stronger will be the burst instances. The third increases the level of the burst by 3. With the fourth, you will gain an additional buff from the first passive talent, so you have 3 instead of 2, and the buff this constellation grants is one of the non-triggered. So if you have the buffs given by Cryo and Pyro, you can get one from Hydro and Electro. The fifth increases the level of the skill by 3, and with the last one, Wanderer deals an additional instance of damage when he hits an opponent with the normal attack while in the skill state. This will also grant team points of the skill state once it falls below 40% and can happen 5 times. So this constellation increases damage and the duration of the skill state. Now for team comps, Wanderer is actually pretty flexible. He only needs a shielder to make sure enemies can't hit or interrupt him while in midair, since that would waste a lot of damage. First option is one of the classiest one, Wanderer, Farozan, Bennett and Iona. In this case, Farozan provides animal damage bonus to Wanderer and reduces opponent's resistance to animal. Bennett heals and buffs in attack, granting Wanderer Pyro, which he used to buff himself in attack, and Iona heals and shields Wanderer, granting also Cryo, from which Wanderer takes crit rate. You can replace Iona with Layla and Bennett with Yansan. I wouldn't replace Farozan in this team. If you want a team with all field appliers, you can go with Wanderer, Mawika, Shilonin and Furina. In this case, Shilonin won't buff Wanderers, but she buffs Mawika and Furina, which helps a lot with damage. Mawika applies Pyro and buffs in damage with the burst, as Furina does as well. Shilonin heals and Wanderer deals a lot of damage. You can replace Mawika with Shaling and Toma or the Pyro Traveler, Shilonin with Mika, which would grant attack speed bonus, and Furina with Yellen, Sinchu and Aino. As always, these were just examples. You can use Wanderer with other characters and sub DPS like Yaimiko or with an Effa that shields him. I don't really like the buff he gets from Electro, but you are free to use him with any characters you like, of course. And that's all you needed to know about Wanderer. I hope this video was useful to you. Let me know in the comments your final thoughts for our hack guy. I remind you to subscribe to the channel, to join my Discord server, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!